My husband missed the birth of our third child to be at the birth of his other daughter, born less than 24 hours later by his mistress. And then he came home with paperwork asking me to adopt his new baby and raise her as our daughter's twin. Our life was a portrait of stability, painted over 14 years of marriage. It was the kind of life you see in catalogs. A sprawling suburban house with a tire swing in the backyard, the scent of freshly cut grass in the summer, the sound of our children's laughter echoing through the halls. We were high school sweethearts, Mark and I. We'd built everything together, brick by brick. This home, a family with 3 beautiful children, and a life deeply rooted in our religious community, where the sanctity of marriage wasn't just a goal, it was the entire foundation. My world was my children, our 8-year-old son, Noah, our 5-year-old daughter, Sophie, and our precious 2-month-old baby, Lily. The most important thing to me was the promise we made, the family we created, and the peaceful, loving home that I believed was our shared fortress against the world. Just last week, I'd found an old photo of Mark and me in college, him with a goofy grin, me with a hopeful smile. I remember thinking how lucky I was, that we had made it. I had no idea that my fortress was built on sand, and a tsunami was about to hit. Mark, my husband, was my rock, or so I thought. He was the man who could calm a crying baby with a single touch, the man who left love notes on the bathroom mirror, the man whose frequent business travel was just a normal, unquestioned part of our successful life. He was also a man who, for 4 years, had been living a complete lie, with another woman, a mistress named Chloe. In hindsight, there were tiny microscopic red flags. A whispered phone call in the garage he'd explained away as a difficult client. A credit card bill with a charge for a jewelry store in a city he wasn't supposed to be in that he claimed was a fraudulent charge he'd already taken care of. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He was my Mark. But the true antagonist wasn't just his infidelity. It was his shocking, profound belief that his lies could be seamlessly integrated into my reality. The night our world burned down started with a quiet, unsettling image. Mark came home, his face a mask of grief I'd never seen before. He bypassed our usual greeting, the kids running to hug his legs, me meeting him with a kiss, and walked straight to the liquor cabinet. The sound of him pouring a large whiskey echoed in the silent house. He sat at our dining table, the same table where we'd celebrated birthdays and helped with homework, and put his head in his hands. A primal alarm went off in my soul. I went through the motions on autopilot, tucking Noah and Sophie into bed, feeding baby Lily, placing her gently in her bassinet. My hands were steady, but my heart was hammering against my ribs. Then I went to him. The air was thick with the smell of whiskey and dread. Mark, what is it? What's wrong? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. He started talking, his voice thick and slurred. I'm so sorry, babe. I am so sorry I missed Lily's birth. It was odd. We talked about it. He was stuck on business overseas when she made her early arrival. It was sad, but it was unavoidable. I reached out to touch his shoulder. It's okay, honey. We knew it was a possibility. He shook his head, not looking at me. No, it's not okay. I wasn't. I was overseas, he continued, his voice breaking. But I was there for the birth of my other daughter. With Chloe. The words didn't compute. Other daughter? Chloe? It was like he was speaking a foreign language my brain refused to translate. The room began to spin. A violent wave of nausea surged up my throat, and I swallowed it down, the taste of bile and betrayal burning my mouth. Don't be sick. You just cleaned up from dinner. It was the most insane, mundane thought to have as my life was being incinerated. My mind was a frantic slideshow of our life. Our wedding day, the birth of Noah, buying this house, and superimposed over every image was this new, ugly reality. He kept talking, each word another gallon of gasoline on the fire. Chloe, his mistress of 4 years, was not okay. She couldn't care for the baby.